Hello everyone, this is Carol, and I'm here to do a tutorial that I was requested to do. And I'm going to try to make this quick. I don't have much time on my, much battery left on my camera, but I wanted to do this because I'm home by myself, and so I have a few moments that I can do it. So I'm going to try. Someone requested this, a couple people requested me to do this video, and it's been, I promised that I would about a month ago, but I had so much other stuff going on, and so I'm going to make it quick. It's an album that I created 2 years ago, and it was called Lord, You Are My Everything. And the reason for the request is that with that album, it was the first time I had ever created that type of album, and I don't think I've created one since using what I used were Tim Holtz binding, 2-ring binder. And so I'm going to try to get it done today. I did most of the cutting prep work before sitting down to do the actual tutorial. So I'm going to try to get through this really quickly. I'll tell you what you need. And we're going to work on the binding first, because that was the main part, was how I adhered this binder. And so what you're going to need is, of course, this binder. You're going to need chipboard pieces. My album is measuring with the chipboard 5.5 by 7, and the pages themselves measure 5 by 6.5. But for the binding, you need 2 pieces that measure 5.5 by 7. The spine piece that measures 1 inch by 7 inches. You're going to need an additional spine piece that measures a ½ inch by 6 3/4 inches, a little bit shorter. You're going to have some extra, an extra piece of cardstock, and that's what the album base is, cardstock. You're going to need some double-sided tape. I use Mod Podge to glue it down, the chipboard. I'm going to use E6000 to put this on, and also hot glue later on. I have a shim piece that I just put 2 pieces of the chipboard together so that I can have a measurement to use as a measurement between my spine pieces. So I have that for now. Your bone folder, if you're using the double-sided tape, I have a X-Acto knife and my Mod Podge. And you're also, when we get ready to put the album together, you're going to have to use a hole punch. I happen to have the Tim Holtz Ideology 2-hole punch. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is adhere these 2 sheets together. This is your 8.5 by 8 papers, and we're going to do it on the 8.5 inch side. We're going to put some double-sided tape on one edge. To join these 2 sheets together. Just trimming it right here on the edge. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to burnish it. Now I'm going to join these two pieces together. I have stuff all over my desk, so I'm trying to find space and be in frame as well so that you can see everything that's going on. Okay. Now you're starting with your center piece, your spine piece, and just put Mod Podge. All over that. And then find your center. You want to center it on. Okay. And then you want to do the next piece. And be generous. Kind of dries quickly. Starts to dry pretty fast. And using your shim piece, put to center that. Do the same thing to the last one. And again, your measurements for your chipboard are 2 pieces at 5.5 by 7. And the spine piece is 1 inch by 7. And this album goes rather quickly. Once you have your plan laid out. with me kind of look slanted. I flip it over and make sure it's down. We're going to cover this with more paper. Now you see you have some access over here, so the paper could have been a little shorter this way, but that's okay. I'm just going to cut it down on this side. Then what I'm going to do is use my my bone folder and trace around the edges. And you want to cut. Okay, that's not sealed down. Let me seal this. And on all four corners, you're going to cut on the diagonal, about not too close to the tip, about like that, on all four sizes. All four sides. And normally what I do is put my tape on first, but I didn't. So I'm going to add my tape now. Now I use my bone folder. Then I also put tape here on the chipboard part. burnish it on all sides. And then I pre-fold it. And starting with my top piece here, I'm going to start to fold it in. So I'm going to take the tape off this piece. And off of these pieces. Hold that down. Flip it over and do the same thing. Then you take the tape off this end. And then before you fold it over, you have some extra paper here, cardstock. You want to use your bone folder to push it in on each side. If you have some, you may or may not. It gives it a better corner, a finished look, more of a finished look. There, like that. And do it to the opposite end as well. There you have it. And that part is done. Now what we need to do is put the paper on the inside. And for the inside piece, it measures 12 by 6 3/4. And what I do is I put my double-sided tape on all 4 corners of this piece here. All 4 sides, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fit in as much as I can before that battery runs out. And that's why I'm not doing as much talking. So that I can work. I'm going to be making some more of these albums, so I wanted to get this one done and put up the tutorial because I was asked to be in a church craft fair, and this is one of the albums that I wanted to do. I'm also going to put some tape on the chipboard on the spine pieces. And on the edges right before the spine and also the spine. And I'll also be using the Mod Podge again as well. And I'm only going to take the tape off a little bit at a time. I'll take off one corner piece, and I'm going to raise this top piece here, and I'm going to pull it off halfway on both sides. There. So I only took it off somewhat here. And I'm going to get my Mod Podge ready. And so I'm just going to position this where I want it. Like that. Before I put it all the way down, I'm going to put Mod Podge. On the chipboard, and then put it down. Now I'm going to lift it up and take off that first piece where I have the double-sided tape. Just take that first piece up and press this down. Then I'm going to lift it up where the fold is. Right there. And then I'm going to use my bone folder in that crease. And do it gently so you don't tear it. Then we're going to lift it up and take that second piece off. third piece off. And add some Mod Podge here. Press that down. And that's just so that it doesn't buckle up in the center on my top edges right here. When I close it, it usually opens up somewhat, like a gap. Then I have a bump. So I want to take my time in placing this cover piece on. And then fold it, close it like that. Then fold it over, and using your bone folder, again, press in the center on that fold line. Now you can lift it up and take that other piece of score tape off. I'm sorry, double-sided tape. And now you want to add the rest of, on this side, Mod Podge, and take off the rest of the remaining tape. Take that off, add the Mod Podge. Okay. And press in place. And that's your album. That's your binder here. And now what we need is a small amount of cardstock to cover that other spine piece. So now grab this piece that's 6 3/4 by a half inch by 6 3/4, and a small amount of this. You might be able to do it with this sheet here. Just a small amount of the black so we can cover this. And I'm just going to trim it somewhere. And some of my chipboard will show, but that's going to be on the underside. So what you want to do is, using your Mod Podge again, is add Mod Podge. And adhere this to this piece here. I need a bigger piece. I'm not going to do the shortcut way. I have a piece over here that I can use. And this is a 1/2 inch, so I'm going to trim it to 1.5 inches. sit down. Check my time. Not much. I'm going to trim this also. And I'm going to do the same thing with monitoring my corners. And using the double-sided tape again. And just take the tape off. And now just fold everything over. And so now that we have this part covered here, and you can put your Mod Podge away, you're not going to need it anymore. So I'll do that later. This piece right here is going to stick right here in the center. After we adhere the binder. If I can find mine. No! Where's my binder? Okay. Okay. So what I forgot to do was to punch the holes. But that's okay. I can do that now. I'm going to measure where I want this. And then I'm going to, since this is black, just going to grab a pen and mark my holes. If I can find something that'll fit there that I can see. Sorry guys that I'm not more prepared. I have an awl. I'm taping.
Okay.
That I'm just going to prick where my hole is. Going to be. So I'm using an awl. And then I'm going to grab my hole punch or my crocodile. And using my hole punch, I'm going to center it over that hole. Punch a hole there. Punch another hole. Right there. Let's see. Okay. But what I'm going to do is use a little bit of the E6000. Just a little bit. And I'll put these in now. And this takes a while to dry. And then the next thing you do is I use the hot glue to glue it here. To glue this piece down. And you want to really center it in there so it doesn't butt up when you close it. So what I'm going to do is put hot glue on this piece here. If I can get my gun turned. When you're on camera, nothing works. There you have it. There you have it. It's there. Checking my time. Okay. Now for my pages, I use 5 cardstock pages. And so what I did is I got 5 pieces of cardstock. And the measurements are 10 by, let me make sure. It was 10 by 6.5. Then I folded it, I scored it at the 5 mark in half, folded them over, and I glued them shut. I used Scotch glue, and on each end, I put glue on this end, that end, and then of course you have your fold over there already, because I was trying to make a pocket. And that's what I did to all 5 of them. Then what I did is, so I have 5 pages, and then I cut 10 pieces at 4 3/4 to cover these. Is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. That's for your pages to cover. To cover the outside, I cut 2 pieces at 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. And that's what I'm going to use for my front, for right here. My front and my back. That's what those two pieces are. And then for my, to sit on top of my page, I use my spellbinders to cut out this die to place here. And then my scripture verses, I have also, I typed them in Word and I cut them out using the nest die so that they'll nest like this. There. And then on my front page, this is where I have Lord, you are my everything. And that's going to go like this onto the front cover. Like that. And then, of course, I'll add some more embellishments. So while you guys are watching, I'll do as much as I can until my camera decides to cut off. And then I'll finish it up and come back probably with another video showing you the finished product. So I will continue this. And I can't punch the holes in my paper until I adhere all my papers here. So I will start doing that. Not worry about my mess around me, but I'll start doing that, and I'll choose the papers. I've already chosen the way I want my papers to be. So this is going to be my front sheet here. And just using your ATG gun, but when, like I said, when this album was requested, I think the main purpose was to see how to apply that Tim Holtz ring. When you apply your papers, make sure that your opening edge of the pocket is facing out. And then just center it. And so this one is going on my back page. The other one. That's my front. This is my back. My husband just got home. And I'm in the room with the door shut, taping, so I can get this done. But I don't feel right sitting here without saying hello. So I'm going to open my door and say hello. Say hello. Hi, honey.
Hi.
I'm still taping, babe.
Alright, I'm watching Mari's show.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Okay. So Now I can do them 2 at a time. Try to move quicker. I have been wanting to do this video for some time, but like us all, there's so many other things that take priority. This is the time of year that there are craft shows going on, and I did a couple of them, and there was hardly any traffic. But I got a lot of feedback, which was great. And so I have another one this weekend, and I'm going to put a video up after this one. Of something that I created yesterday. But I couldn't put that one up before doing this because I had made a promise. And I didn't want to add any other videos until I fulfilled my promise. And so the lady's name, one of the ladies that I remember who requested, I had a couple of emails when the video went up, and a couple of people who commented later on this year that I do a video, but the lady's name that comes to mind is, I think it's Anna Maria Davis. So honey, here's your tutorial. And I am so sorry that it took so long. And I did let a few people know that I was working on so many things that I couldn't get to it. So I have to keep checking the camera. So I have everything here to create this album, but coming up with the scripture verses and all, because I did give that, like I said, that album, I no longer have it. And I did go back and watch the video. And so the same scripture verses that's used in that first album, I used again. But I had redesigned I changed the font and all that, so I hadn't saved it, so I had to go back and redo the scripture verses. And then I had to cut everything out using the I couldn't figure out how to use my big kick so that I can do multiples of the spellbinders cutouts. And then I didn't want to waste any more time, so I ended up having to pull out my grand caliber, which only allows you to cut one at a time, maybe two, if you have two different dies. And so I had to cut those out, 11 in each size, one by one. Before I even figured out that since I was doing them double, one in each size, I could have just did it two at a time. But we live and learn. It's not really going to be seen once I cover it up. You have to really be mindful of where your openings are, the pocket pages. And so for the pockets, I will be adding some journaling cards that I have not created yet. So I hope I finish this up so you can see me punch the holes. At least. Okay. Seems like I don't have enough workspace. But that's my own fault because I keep adding stuff to the desk. Paper is thin. Got to be very careful. That's the last sheet. Less time. And down to 6 minutes. Okay, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to add the holes. This is what I noticed that. Now when I close it, it looks perfect. It goes right to the edge. As you can see, my yellow light is on, guys. So I'm going. We have the pages done. And the binding's in. And so I'm going to stop this video now, and I'll be back with the finished album. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys soon. God bless. Thank you.